guys. Okay, this skill is skill 2.5, bathing a client. What I'm going to do is show you how to do a bed bath, how to perform a bed bath while the client is laying in bed. And then I'm going to pause it, and then I'm going to show you how to perform that with a client that is sitting in a bath chair. Many of you may come across that in a long-term care facility, and it's a little shocking the first time you ever see it. So I want to do that now. I want to show you exactly what that's going to look like, okay? So I want you to watch this video. You can watch it a gazillion times if you want to, okay? And get used to it, get good at it, because you're going to be doing a lot. So for the supplies that you would need for this skill, you would need 2 wash basins. Why do I say 2? Because then you can have a soapy one and you can have a water, a rinse one, okay? So you want to have 2 wash basins. For the purpose of this skill, I'm not going to put water in them, okay? But you would do that, okay? You would use soap. Now, most facilities are getting away from bar soap. We use bar soap here. You may find some of the residents or clients in the long-term care facility will be using bar soap. When you go to the hospitals, they use a liquid soap, okay? Lotion. You want lotion because you want to keep the clients' and residents' skin in perfect condition. That's our first line of defense against microbes or germs. So we want to make sure that we lotion our residents, our clients, our patients. All those words are interchangeable. We want to make sure their skin is in top-notch condition. You're going to need deodorant. Deodorant, why? Because we don't like to smell, right? So our residents and our patients can be producing odors too. So we want to make sure that we put some deodorant on their armpits when we're done. Okay, you're going to need a clean gown for your patient when you're done. You're going to need at least 2 washcloths, 1 to wash and 1 to rinse, okay? You're going to need 2 towels, and you're going to need a bath blanket. Some facilities may have what we call perineal skin cleanser, which is just a spray that you would use in the perineal area or in your nether regions, your lower regions, for cleaning purposes. So they may have that as well. You may see that. Okay, so what do we want to do? Well, first of all, we want to gather all of those supplies that I just told you about, right? Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to bring the bed up to a good working height. We want to perform WIPSA. So you're going to do all of that. So I'm not going to go into it. You should know it. So you would perform your WIPSA. You would gather your supplies and you would perform your WIPSA. I'm going to bring the bed up to a good working height for me. So that's probably what? Hip area, right? Okay, we're going to bring it up to us so that we're saving our back. Because we don't want our back to be, we need our back, right? We need our back to work, to take care of people, to walk, to do everything. So we want to have the bed rail up on the side of the bed that we are not working on. So we'll bring that bed rail up, okay? Then what you want to do is you want to take your bath blanket and you want to put it out over your patient. You open it right up. So you can do this as long as the top sheets are not visibly soiled. If they're visibly soiled, then you want to completely remove those and put your blanket on your patient, resident, client, whatever. All right, so this way, what you do is you can reach underneath and you want to start rolling the sheets down the bed blankets, okay, downward. You may have to come around, being cognizant of your patient, resident in the bed, and that side rail up, right? Down, I mean. Okay, continue this until you get the bed sheets all the way down at the foot of the bed. Now, you notice the resident, the patient is still covered, okay? And they still have their gown on them, okay? So at this point, you would remove the gown, still keeping them covered by the bed sheet. Mannequins sometimes are not as bendable and flexible as a regular patient, so sometimes this takes a little finagling with them. Okay. You want to be careful of all the IV tubing and whatnot that is on your patient as well. Okay, so we want to make sure that we are not not getting the tubes caught up in the gowns. Okay, so you got to be careful of that. Oh, wow, I don't even know my own strength sometimes. Okay. There we go. I'm going to be on the other side for a minute, so put that side rail up like that. Okay, so now what I'm doing, so just to show you what I'm doing, I have to remove this blanket, but you would keep it on them. So you just remove and you make sure that no tubing, no wires or whatever are connected to your gown, okay? So you're going to keep them covered. You would remove the gown, just like that, okay? All right? Hopefully I didn't block that too much from you guys. You'd put the gown inside of the laundry receptacle. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we would make sure that we have some warm water in our basins, and we would put our side rail down on the side that we're going to be working on. We're going to bring everything over to us. So, if I'm right-handed, and sometimes these don't like to move up. There we go. So if I'm right-handed, do I want things like this? No. I want to make sure that I move this bedside table to where it is comfortable and workable for me. So if I'm right-handed, I want to have this tray right here where I can easily reach it. Okay, I want to make sure that I keep the dry stuff dry. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my wash basin, and I'm just going to put the soap in that just so that you know it's a wash basin, okay? And then I'm going to have my rinse basin, okay? Some people like to put their lotion inside of their rinse basin to get it warmed up, okay? Because nothing worse than having cold lotion put on your back or your skin after being bathed, right? Okay, so we're going to washcloth in our wash basin, and we want a washcloth in our rinse basin. So then what we're going to do is we are going to take and place a dry, clean towel underneath our resident patient client's head, okay? All right, so then that keeps everything dry underneath. Now, when you're washing the head, you want to make sure that you do not use soap, okay? Soap is very drying, and your face can dry out very easily. So we always want to use just water. Now, many of you want to grab a hold of the rinse one, but really, we haven't really put any soap in our soap water yet, right? Okay, so we can just use that. So we'd use this, and we'd get it nice and wet, we'd wring it out, okay? And then what you want to do is you want to start at the forehead, and you want to wipe, okay? and then around the eyes. Now there's 4 corners of your washcloth, and there's 4 areas to do on the eyes, okay? So what you want to do is can you see this? I don't know. You're going to go from the inner aspect of the eye outward on the upper lid. Then you're going to go to the inner aspect outward on the lower lid. Grab another corner of the washcloth, again inner aspect to the outer of the upper lid on the other eye. Other corner, 4 corners, okay, inner aspect to the outer aspect of the second eye. So now you've used all of those corners, right? So you can just go to another area and you want to continue washing. You want to do the eyes, the nose, the chin, around the mouth. Make sure you get the neck, okay? And the ears, the outside of the ears and behind the ears, get those all nice and clean. While you're doing this is a good time to be assessing skin, especially if your patient's wearing oxygen. You could be checking behind the ears for any, sores that are developing, dryness or whatever. Now, since we didn't use soap on that, we don't have to rinse, right? Okay, so then we just take our towel and we're gonna pat the skin dry. We're gonna pat it dry. We're not gonna do this, okay? That's not how we dry somebody's face. We literally are just gonna pat from on the eyes, from the in to the out, okay? Behind the ears, on the ears, under the chin, dry that all out, okay? All right, at this point, you're gonna take that towel out from underneath their head. Okay, and now we're gonna start the bathing of the torso. And how you do that is you're gonna take the bath blanket and you're gonna expose your patient, resident, or whatever, from the midline. Midline is down the middle of the torso. So if you were to cut the body in half, that would be midline, okay? So you want to expose not their private regions. You want to keep that covered. You want to expose midline over to where you're standing, okay? You're going to take your dry towel that you're using to keep the bed dry, right? And you're going to put this underneath the arm, okay? And underneath the torso that you're going to wash, okay? To keep your bed nice and dry. There we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to soap up our washcloth, okay? We're going to wash our patient or resident, and you're gonna do some, good strokes, not hard, not light, but some nice firm strokes. You're gonna grab it down by their wrist. You're gonna wash, okay? You're gonna make sure that you get the axillary or the armpits. You're gonna do the hands, okay? You're gonna make sure that you wash in between the fingers. You're going to check out the fingernails, the nail beds, and the skin while you're doing this, okay? And then you want to rinse. You want to rinse off whatever it is that you just, the soap that you just put on the areas that are exposed. So we're going to rinse, okay? Rinse the arm, the hand, the axillary, okay? Now, some people will put lotion on while the skin is wet. That's acceptable, okay? And then some people like to put it on after you've patted dry. Either way, it doesn't matter, okay? Preference of the patient if they're able to tell you that. I know that I prefer to put my lotion on right after I get out of the shower, and then I will towel off the excess. To me, the pores are open and ready to absorb the lotion better when my skin is a little moist. There are some people that like to wait until afterwards. So it's acceptable either way, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to pat dry the skin. Make sure you get in between the fingers, okay? make sure you dry the axillary, okay? You're gonna make sure that you've checked the whole arm and hand, okay? You're going to apply deodorant to the axillary, okay? And if you didn't apply the lotion while the skin was still wet, you would now apply it to your resident or your patient's torso and arm, okay? So then you would remove this towel, okay? And you will cover the patient or resident back up again, okay? You will move to the other side of the bed and do the other side at this point. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just going to go right down to the leg, okay? So the leg, you're going to do the same thing as you did on the torso. You're going to expose the one leg and hip, okay? Sorry, I'm moving things out of the way. If you drop your towel, you go get a clean one, okay? All right. So this is my towel that I'm drying with. Nope, this is my towel I'm drying with. This is my towel that I'm using to keep my bed dry. And again, you're going to lift the leg and you're going to put your towel underneath the leg that you're going to wash, okay? So that's all ready. Do not expose the nether regions, the lower part here, okay? So what you're going to do is, again, you get your soapy water, your washcloth with the soap on it, and you wash the leg. Shoot. Negate what I just did. Start at the ankle, just above the ankle, and you're going to wash up to the hip, okay? So you start at the ankle, wash up, okay? And then you're going to do the feet. So you're going to wash the heels. You're going to check your skin while you're doing this. You want to make sure that you wash in between every toe, okay? And underneath the toes, make sure you wash there. You want to be checking nails. You want to be checking in between the toes for any redness or whatever. So you want to be always assessing your patient's skin while you're doing this. You really want to be careful with diabetics, is they can get sores and stuff on their feet and not even know it, and that's how they end up losing appendages because they don't feel that sore. Okay, so then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to rinse, okay, and you're going to rinse the leg, and then you're going to rinse the feet, okay, and again, you can put lotion on when it's wet or dry. It doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to dry it off. I'm going to pat it dry. I'm not rubbing like this. I'm just patting dry. Okay? You want to make sure that you dry in between each toe. Okay? Especially with diabetics, that moistness can develop sores. So we want to make sure that we really wash and dry those really well. Okay? When you are applying lotion to your resident's or your client's skin, or his legs and feet, it's a good habit not to put lotion around the toe area. First of all, you don't ever put lotion in between the toes for a diabetic. That's just asking to breed germs. So if that's the case, then make it a habit not to put it on anybody's, okay? So just put lotion on. You're going to warm it in your hands, and you're going to rub it on, and make sure that you don't go in the toe area. You can do the rest of the foot, but just not in the toe area, okay? So then, just like the torso, you will remove the towel, and you will cover the resident patient back up. Again, you would go on the other side and do the other leg. Now we have the back and the nether regions, the lower regions to do as well. So what we want to do now is to find out if our resident is able to assist us when we go to wash their back, okay? If they're not able to, then we would get assistance, okay? But if they're able to, what we want to do is we want to make sure